This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the trading agent. And do we have the screens? Yes. This is your live market recap for Monday, September 12th, 2022. If you're watching this after the fact, go to the 6 minute and change mark, and that's where this video will start. I hope people are having a great day. Keep in mind, as we get closer to the close, I'm expecting a squeeze and close at the highs of the day. If you're going to take profits, I would recommend taking some, as we've had a nice 4-day run. Mic check, 1, 2. What is this? Everyone got this? We good? Everyone good? If you're newer to the channel, check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. This room will not be open for very long. Getting more of a pain in the butt every day to manage. Just is what it is. Do you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Hey Shannon. Hey B-Bird. Hey Prophetic, Poetic. What do we have? Alright, good. Any questions? Again, we're going to let this run. There's going to be a regular recap, and then I'll take open mic at the end. It just seems, why not get two birds with one stone? This is not rocket science. Again, if you bought Apple last week at the bear trap, like we did aggressively, you should be taking profits. I've taken a lot of profits today, each layer higher, but I'm also trading around my positions. I expect us to close at the high of the day. Going into CPI, bears are out of position, bulls are under owning the market. Everybody is frantically chasing. This is exactly when I want to start taking profits into strength. I don't raise my stops knowing they're going to get drilled. I just take my profits. I'm happy with, again, layer in, layer out. Same old in my world. Hopefully things are good in yours. If they're not, we should talk, because this has been what I would describe as rather simple. Anyway, it just is what it is. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop some. I appreciate everybody. What do we got? Watching the SMH. Just is what it is. What's up, Kat? Trying to put some orders in before we start, just in case something happens. Again, I'm very comfortable with being taken out of some of the names that I'm long if the levels hit. No sweat off of my back. Easy money has been made. Any questions before we get started? Again, we got a couple minutes here. Order status. Okay, got some SMH, some Soxol, some Apple cells. Need to put some Microsoft in. Limit. Let's do half of that. That up to 13. Yeah, cool. Good afternoon, everybody. Now again, just giving a couple minutes. Please have your orders in case things get a little squeezy at the end. Again, please take profits when it's easy. Do not roll up your stops because they're gonna get hit. Just take profits and be happy. And if you have to take profits, don't just jump back into shorts. That is the crazy psychologically weak move. A lot of people just gotta move. Once I close out my longs, I gotta go short. It's like, nah, you don't. No, you don't. No, you absolutely don't. Only the weak-minded feel like they always have to do something all the time and be correct and all in, all or nothing. It's just brutal. It's just absolutely brutal. Because that's the key to losing, right? Is gambling. Always trying to figure out what's going to happen all the time. Like, the odds of being right all the time are, what? Not likely. Hence why, what do you think? We only go after what seems likely. It seems very logical and obvious, but I'm telling you, that's not how the average trader is wired. The average trader is going to do what? Chase every flicker, every shiny thing. It's like a cat playing with a toy. It's like, just can't help it. Curiosity killed the trader, not the cat. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. If we pause here at a certain point, it's because I'm literally just going to be closing out some trades. We'll see. I mean, again, I anticipate the markets to close near the highs because why? Everyone is short or out of position, and now people are chasing. Everyone knows the CPI. If you were around last week, we talked about it. Talked about the CPI numbers going to come in less than expected. Market was going to rally into it. Look at the seasonality. If you're surprised by this, I don't know what you're doing. Literally, don't know what you're doing. Like, you couldn't have missed out on, like, Captain Obvious could have saw this coming. You guys know what Captain Obvious is, right? Everybody does. Printing money. That's what the market goal is. It's not to gamble. It's just to print money. Try to do it logically, smart, carefully. And also knows that you can lose. Don't let anything wipe you out. Gonna get going here in a second. Make sure you got your orders in case you're not paying attention. Someone alert me when I get close to the market close, and I should see it anyway. Anyway, the alarm's gonna go off. I'm gonna start recording. Please save your questions if they're not related till after the fact. After the video, I'll open mic it later. All right, recording now. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Monday, September 12th, 2022. Hopefully you are having a great day. Hopefully you are paying attention, checking out the Discord room, link in the description below, and also just following along. Ultimately, the goal is to make money, not to trade aggressively to gamble, but to do what the market is doing. Does that sound so hard? I don't think so. However, to a lot of people it is because they want to be right away. They want to always be winning, and they also want to be aggressive. When you don't know, and sometimes you don't chase. Just win in general. Less is more. I always talk about that. Again, this channel is built for people who are, I would say, have experience trading, but looking for that edge to how to ultimately win more consistently versus chasing every shiny object and trying to ultimately do too much trading. Less is more. On that note, if, again, you're newer, check out the Discord room. Link is in the description below. We are chatting all day. Bring in the heat. Bring in the heat. All right, Bitcoin. Talked about it. If it held here, it's probably going to bounce. I personally don't have a position. My thinking is this is a big chop zone. At this point, if I'm a bull or a bear, I'm like, it's like gold. Just leave it alone. If you're in at the lows, fine. If you're shorting up near the highs, just know your levels. I mean, it's ultimately a game of probabilities at this point, which I would say the probabilities of what are, I don't know. And if you don't know, that means you just don't trace. You just don't trade it. I mean, it's really hard to tell people don't trade gold. Don't trade silver. Don't trade the miners. No, but I have to know. I have to do something. It's like, all right, whatever. You could have been doing other things. Oil, talked about it. Hitting this like range lows. I know it's still going to 60 at some point, but what said, look for shorts on the pops, 90. I mean, the higher the better. Like, that's just how I look at it from shorting. I mean, I saw the drip get down under 15. Some people took it today, didn't do it. It is on my absolute radar at some point. I promise you that. It will be absolutely be shorted, just whether we get there or not. Do we get there? Do we not? Zadala. Talked about it hitting the 29s when it went up here. Things that aren't bearish. Yeah, dollar's pulling back. Might tighten up here. Keep an eye on it. TLT, not excited about this. I've been layering into it. I'm about halfway into what I want to be. People are anticipating some potentially lower prices. I'm just trying to catch as near the low as possible because I know how this looks, how this works. Seen this a bazillion times. And what do I mean by that? Go look at the monthly. Talked about it before the 2008 crash. You had just high, like you had this chopping off of the level. Here you go. Is it getting puked before the CPI? Clearly. But go look at the volume on the daily. Snoozer. Absolute snooze fest. It looks more of just position squaring, stopping out. I know there's some rebalancing in the bond market this week. We shall see. Again, you want to play with the big boys. This is what you do. You layer in at the lows. Because if it does start, it might gap up and rip up against you. You don't know. That's why people are always like, oh, you're early. It's like, I'm usually early because guess what? The first move is not usually the bottom. When you start layering into a position, if it goes one touch and then rips, then you probably can't get a lot of it. That's how I always look at it. Not going to be able to get a lot. The VIX, holding up pretty good. Gotta argue, or gotta admit, it is. Not surprised that the VIX is up. We'll see what happens. Again, I don't anticipate the VIX staying up all week. Here's the gap. Does it fill? We'll see. VIX termination, remember, OPEX, what does it mean? Typically, they're trying to kill the puts and the calls, and right now there's way more puts out there. This is old max downside. We'll see what happens. Is the Vixen? Talked about it, back testing the trend line when it was up here. No one believed it. Now what? I mean, could it get back to 27? We shall see. The SPY said 410 to 415. Nobody believed us. Well, now you have a novice gap probably, which could be what? Multiple days of chopping. Maybe make, again, some people are saying 200 day, and it's like, probably not. Probably not. I would anticipate what? Somewhere around here. It's the VAP zone. If you don't understand what volume at price means, think about what the market is. It's a liquidity seeking mechanism. The market makers do not want to mark up a price or mark down a price unless they have what? Liquidity. They need your stock. They need my stock. Whatever. They need our liquidity to do something. Just keep that in mind. So, near term, if it gets choppy, don't be surprised. Is this the top? I have little faith that today is the top. Hence where people are shorting, I'm like, don't jump into it. Take your time. Let it play out. Do not be so quick to jump on the short bandwagon. Remember, people are out of position. If they're out of position, that means what? Probably going to go higher or chop out at worst. Same thing with the Qs, 20-day, maybe 315. That's kind of my near term. People say, oh, it's going to go to the 200-day, 320, 330. I'm like, not in a straight line. No, it's due to bounce, which it did with seasonality. Talked about Apple at some point catching up. Here you go. For the market to hit 420 or like the 200-day, like think about where Apple's going to go. It's going to go much higher. I just don't anticipate that. The IWM got close to 190. Here you go. 20. Oh my God. Apes R Us is here and he says that it's snark. Oh man. All right. Definitely buying more calls into the close. This guy's a clown. Hey buddy. Nice guy, but I mean literally do the opposite of everything this person recommends. I think they're a bot. Pretty funny. No, I'm not buying more calls. We've already got plenty. If everybody's anticipating the market to tank on the CPI, again, all the bears are digging in deep. Yada, yada, yada. Gamma squeeze, talking a bunch of junk. Who cares? IWM, talked about 190, 20-day. Perfect. Everybody's out of position. Yeah, whatever, dude. GLD, leave it alone. Talked about it. The best action is going to be to blow out the lows. That's all I would wait for. That's what I would wait for. Take out the lows. Nice pop on silver. Again, I still think it gets back down to 16s. Doesn't. Again, I mean, I'd love to see it pop and hold up, but you got to be wary of how this works. Just got to be careful of how this works because, again, the best time to buy silver is when it blows out the liquidity, not on the pops. Name a silver bottom that was not, like, incredibly difficult, slash scary. And I mean scary like scary, like you have no clue what's going on. GDX hits the 50-day, breaks this little channel. I don't know. I don't really care. Again, all this stuff. Don't care. Just don't care. Got to do a little house cleaning. Let me do this. All right. If someone wants to ban this guy, he's just annoying. Apes. GDXJ, 50-day, bouncing. Not surprised. Literally not surprised. But here's the thing. If the dollar was coming down, the market was going to rise. Are you surprised this popped? No. I mean, again, it's just one of those things. Like, it's like, what do you choose to play here? I'd rather just leave the miners metals alone because I don't see much upside near term. So, anyway, AG, sweet pop, cool. I mean, if you're trading it, good. I mean, that's a big move, I guess, 6 to 850. Keep it simple. Very simple. I mean, I really don't have much anticipation of all of them. I mean, I like AEM better. But again, I think this is the hardest thing I think people don't realize about the bottom. They just don't. That it's not ever clean. You know, when the VIX spikes into the 50, 60 range, which if there's a bear market and that's how it's going to end, this stuff is not going to be clean. It's not going to just go right down to a price and be like, refreshing. I'll have a tall glass of AEM. No, it's going to put your like mental awareness to test. Like, are you really committed? That's what they do. What they do every time. Newmont, again, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. PAAS. I mean, again, it's all these things. Great, they're bouncing. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 20-day. Whatever. Thank you guys for banning this guy. I mean, it's just so silly. I mean, talking about meme stocks. Again, if people know me, know that I believe in taking risk that's worth the reward. If you are holding meme stocks long term, you're gambling. And if you're putting $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 into something that's a gamble, well, don't be surprised when you get wiped out. I have no desire to get wiped out, ever. Goal is to make sure what? We survive, thrive, and do well. Oh, we have another troll. Awesome. You must be doing well when you get trolls. 200-day. X, not surprised. Hit it, bounced off. Talked about materials names. Like them. Just, I don't trust them. Just don't trust them. Same thing. Nucor, here you come. Up into the top. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. VALE, we talked about it. Fillings the gap. Fillings the gap. All right, cool. It tested it, bouncing. All right, all this stuff. I mean, it's the market due to bounce. Remember, we talked about the SPY bouncing for 390. It gets up to 410. This stuff should bounce. Market, rising tide lifts all boats, right? It just is what it is. CCJ, I know a lot of people are teeing up shorts on this. I understand your point. Again, this is what's so hard. Leave it alone. I mean, all these names. I mean, we all love uranium, right? We all think it's strong long term. It all makes sense. Just be aware. If the market peels, onions, everyone's crying. Arrow, same thing. All great names. Great. Popping up. Here you go. Here's the volume price analysis showing you what. The buyers are down. The buyers are down there. You bounce. You're over the 100-day. All right. We'll see what happens. Again, I just don't have a ton of faith in this stuff because why? When the market pukes, everything gets thrown up too. Mosaic, man, pop, drop. I mean, are they anticipating Russian war ending? I don't know. War with Ukraine? Who knows? CF talked about this as a nice one to buy on dips later. Wide and loose. Who knows what's going on? I mean, all these names. Just be patient, please. Please be patient. Please be patient. All right. I don't know what to tell you when they're going to bottom. I have prices, but let's not put the cart before the horse. All of these names at some point will be a buy and we'll be there. We'll absolutely be there, but we don't need to think about it until when? The market's done. This is not a bull market. This is a bear market, y'all. We talked about this. The evidence is clear as day. But whatever. I mean, people have to trade. It's if you're buying stuff, just like we're buying tech, we're trading it. We're not sitting around going to go, well, I bought Apple at 153, 154. Well, I'm going to hold it forever. Nah. No. Absolutely not. That is not what the plan is. I hope people realize that. Speaking of, let's get into the tech. Let's get into the tech. As we always start with an approximate alphabetical order. Our friend AMD, down a little bit. Not surprised. Does it have to go up every day? Probably not. Still expecting somewhere around 90. Keep it simple. SMH, acting really crappy today, but yeah, hits the range. High, backs off. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you have to remember, nothing goes up all day, every day. I mean, from point A to get to point A to point B, it's probably not a straight line, right? CRM, here's one making a high of the day as we speak. We talked about, I got stopped out down here, and then zip, pow. Probably going up to the 167 plus. Real simple. Goog's down today. Oh my God, end of the world. I don't know. Probably just chilling out here around the point of control, around 111. We'll see. Microsoft took a little off, trading around it, still anticipating probably, you still could get into the 270s. Would not be surprising if the dollar's down. However, Doji today, maybe a Doji sandwich, goes a little higher, 270. Again, not really, you got to be careful being bearish here. Everyone's out of position. And again, that's where the biggest moves happen. Money managers don't have enough stock. bears, or I mean, look at stock twits. Everybody's bearish. Everybody and their mom, brother, sister. So, I mean, you just gotta be thoughtful, okay? The market's taking the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Like, you have to remember that. And if that's the case, what? Well, what do you think, right? Like, it's gonna be a market that goes nowhere for the near term, at worst. But it still probably goes higher. I mean, that's like the honest like truth here. Like, I'm still bearish longer term, but man, I would love to see more pop and chop. Pop and chop would be distributive. But you got to hit the levels. Again, you're probably going to get to the levels where what? Most people back to even, or most people would be like, chasing. And they chase where? Based on where they got in last time, right? Like, think about it. Microsoft, not really so much. It'd probably here. Somewhere where at like this price range would get people really excited. Like, oh, maybe we're about to go higher. Again, the best advertisement for higher prices is what? Higher prices. Amazon. Here you go. Popping. Talked about, probably could get here. Maybe it fills the gap. I mean, these are things you don't see that are bearish. Near term, now again, are we due to probably pull back? At some point. It is OPEX, CHOPEX. Let it play out. Apple. Been selling as we rise. Talk about buying down here the 100-day. Talk about the upside target of being like 161 to 164. If you sold it all at the open at 159, what were you doing? What were you doing? People were talking about taking profits. I'm like, man, you gotta win her. Let it run. Give it a couple hours. I mean, I could run through all the tech. Roblox, things that you don't see are bearish. Just kind of holding up. Maybe it goes back to the highs. I don't know. Just keep it real simple. Somebody was like, oh, I'm taking Netflix off and I'm taking my profits. What did we say? I'm like, held to 20 days, probably going higher. Maybe it fills this gap around 240. Again, all these things are what? Showing you that the market's out of position, chasing. Like, you don't get higher highs ripping like this on lighter volume unless the market maker wants it. You have to realize that. Like, the market maker wants to get the market higher. The best way to sell is to get prices higher. Remember, average person is scared to buy at the lows, but they'll always buy at the highs. Crappy meta. Here you go. Into the range. Can it get over it? We'll see. If the market's going higher, absolutely. When people say, well, wait, hold on. You think the market's going lower, but it's going higher? I'm like, no. You're not listening. What I'm saying is that the potential for both right now is about equal, but I anticipate it to go higher to do what? Near term. To squeeze out. Like, there's a ton of bears. Like, go look at stock twits. Go look at Twitter. Everybody's bearish. Even freaking MicroStrategy doing a secondary to buy more Bitcoin. Hey, thanks, Deanna. Appreciate the super chat. 20-day, not surprised, but remember down here, no one wants it at 200. Bing, 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 bang, bow, pop. Look at that. Awesome. Even NVIDIA. We talked about what? Probably could get here. Maybe it fills a gap. I mean, people say, oh, it's bearish today. I'm like, is it? It made a higher high and it's just chopping. Short-term bull. How long? Till the price targets hit and the action, the VIX gets where it's going to go and the market gets what? Crazy. I mean, let's watch the close. And even if it doesn't close at the highs, is the CPI going to be less than expected? Probably. Now, does it have to mean, could it gap down tomorrow and then rip right back? I mean, there's a million ways to play this. It's CHOPEX. I just don't chase. Absolutely don't chase. No, the August 10th CPI report reaction should help people learn to be patient before drop. Yeah, I mean, technically, yes. But again, you just don't worry about everybody else. Worry about your own positions. If you have got big, fat, monster gains, you need to be taking profits. And if it pulls back, well, you trade around it accordingly. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, I'm not all in long going into the CPI. I've been taking profits all day today. People were like, oh, you didn't take profits on Friday. Well, look at the Stock Trader's Almanac. Go into the CPI. I said this morning, I'd love to see this close at the high of the day. And if it doesn't, well, maybe it has some more to go. We don't know. Everybody's trying to get short way too early. And that's usually a sign to me that what? Probably got to squeeze more. If we talked about Tesla, people are like, oh, I'm going to short it. It's like, well, if the market's going higher, you got to be careful. I mean, we talked about the 200-day being the upside. This is where you have to be able to think independently of what? You have to look at the market. If the market's not at the highs, the ranges, and Tesla then can go higher. It's what it did. I mean, it's literally. Trading 101. Okay? Okay? Be safe. I'm telling you, don't be so rigid where you think, well, it hits this price, I have to short it. That's what the market is, not an exact mechanism. You don't bring a ruler going, oh, it's got to do this and do that perfectly every single time. No. NDAQ, I love this thing to hold up here at 64. Maybe it goes even to 65. Maybe it goes to 64. I don't know. I want to short this. But it's hard to short this when what? The market is doing bullish things. Now again, I am long, looking to layer out. But I don't want to be too early to short during OPEX. And if we are, and it drops, I expect there will be a pop at some point. Just like every bottom and high, you get retest, choppiness. Don't ever feel like you have to do things. The only thing I'd be doing here is protecting your capital at this point if you're long. It's really that simple. The financials, again, things you don't see if the market's bearish, right? Hits up here close to the highs. I mean, maybe it chops. Maybe it chops. Talked about Morgan Stanley, get him to 90, 91. Gets up there, chops. I mean, it's hard to short. JP Morgan, 121. Did I say Morgan Stanley? Yeah. Here you go. I said, thought maybe like 121. I don't know why I don't have the zone drawn, but whatever. Somewhere in this range. Just is what it is. XBI. We talked about it. People are like, oh, it looks like it's about to roll over and die. And it's like, no, this is the king of chopping at tops, chopping at lows. Why are you in such a rush? It's at the low side of the target range. Probably can go a little higher. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, what? You are harvesting the gains. I hope that seems very apparent. Let's go even to EXPI. I mean, I had to boot someone today because they just drive me crazy about fundamental and technical. I want to do this. I'm like, argue for limitation. I'm like, stop trying to be a fundamental analysis. You're not figuring out anything the market doesn't already know. Crap. Your stops are what you trust. Not going anywhere. UTHR talked about this. Stock's probably stuck. Stuck. Hit the monthly channel high after a huge move. Talked about the double bottoms. Pop. Chop. Let's end it with the oil names and open mic it. USO talked about it popping up. Hit the 20-day. I did not short. Did I miss it? We'll see. We shall see. I mean, again, I'm looking for... I want more strength, honestly, than less to short, but it's hard. UNG, like to see this get up into the 30 range. Not there yet. XOP, again, wants to buy the drip. I don't know. I'd love to see it higher. All these things I want to see higher. It's just easier to short. Does it make sense? Like, I don't want to be early if the market's rising. Keep in mind, oil names can rise even as the market rises. Here you go. ExxonMobil. We'll see. Now we're going into the CPI. Again, think about this. The rest of the week, ChopX, options expiration. No matter what the top is ultimately going to be, you're going to have at least a retest or a lower high or a higher high chop blowout. We don't know. Just please be safe. If you have questions, stop by the Discord room. I'm just telling you, as always, be thoughtful to what everybody else is doing. If you're the market maker, that's the game you're trying to pretend to be. That's what we want to be here. We're not thinking it from my perspective, your perspective. What does the market maker want to do? And if everybody's short, bearish, look at the stock twits, look at the fin twit, whatever sentiment, everyone's like, short that pop, short that pop, short that pop. That's not how you top. Just like, buy that dip, buy that dip. No difference in gold, silver. There's people like, oh, you got to buy that dip, you got to buy that dip. And it's like, that's not how you bottom. It's not how you bottom. It's not how you top. Same thing short term, long term, whatever. Be very thoughtful of the market, okay? If you have any questions, again, stop by the Discord room. But also, if you have profits and you're going into moments where there's massive indecisiveness potentially, you should probably take profits. And by profit taking, harvesting your gains. If you're harvesting your gains, put money in your pocket, buy real estate, buy gold, silver, physical, whatever you need to do. But remember, we're running this like a business. You're expecting to pay taxes. We are winners. We're not losers here, okay? Loser mentality is to just what? Pretend like you're never going to win and don't run it like a business. We run this like a business. All right, I'm going to open it up to just questions. I'm going to stop the recording. I appreciate you guys and gals. Let's keep it going. That was easy. Any questions going forward? Again, if you ask me about these meme stocks, it just shows me like what kind of trader you are. You're just a gambler. You believe in like the crappiest stocks. You don't follow the Livermore thought process of trading the leaders, trading stocks that lead the market. All right. 10 houses in 10 years. That's right. That's it. I mean, it's really that simple. Like, I'm expecting a squeeze into the close, and if we don't, maybe it goes higher tomorrow. I mean, keep in mind, like, everybody's out of position. Go check out the sentiment. Everybody's bearish, trying to short highs. That's not how you close. That's not how you top. That's just not how it is. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking profits up here after a nice 3-day run, good for you. Good. You hopefully are putting big bags of cash in your pockets. You can't go broke taking profits. Yeah, if I was bearish, I would actually be nervous. I don't know. If I was bearish, I'd be extremely nervous. Because I'm going, all right, this is a Monday. I'm looking at the Stock Trader's Almanac. I know the CPI is going to be weak. I would be saying, oh, I don't know. Again, think about what the easiest way to get the market makers to get people to chase would be tomorrow. Gap it up. Then pull the rug on them, right? Like, buy the rumor, sell the news. Like, mentally, we are pivoting ready for the next short. But the thing that you have to always remember is, like, what? We're typically early. Like TLT. Here you go. During the videos, I was like, making new lows. Here it comes right back. Why buy in physical gold and silver? Because the premiums aren't going to come in no matter what happens to the gold price. I think if the CPI is what it thinks, the TLT is going to rally. And then maybe the market rallies a little more. Again, I anticipate ultimately what? The Feds will never, ever, ever, ever navigate a soft landing. Never. If you know that for a fact, at some point, TLT will get bought aggressively, the market will tank. People will look for security in the money or in bonds like they always do. And if that doesn't happen, well, then I guess you're betting on the end of the world. And if the world ends, doesn't really matter, I guess, at that point. Guess it doesn't really matter. Let's go to the SPY. Let's see how we close. We are at the 20-day. Yeah, you're betting on the end of the world. Awesome. You won. Now the market totally implodes and you have nothing. And the market just closed for good. There was nothing to win ultimately. Who bought Soxel today on the dips? Nice, whack. It's just too funny how people, I mean, again, you have to think about 90% of traders lose. I'm willing to bet the golems and the apes are us and these people who unfortunately are gamblers, they ultimately lose. I mean, you have to think about it. Like, trading's not a game to gamble. We're professional poker players waiting for pocket aces, pocket kings, suited connectors, ace king, whatever, and we're trading accordingly. Do we always win? No, but we put the odds in our favor. That's the goal here. Come on, squeeze the market into the close. What do you think about FedEx? I don't know. I got like 20 packages coming. I ordered some blinds. That's all I can tell you about FedEx. I can pull it up. FedEx. Multiple day bounce. I mean, it's a pretty wide range. I like how it gapped up into this range, James. I like how it gapped up into this range. Oh, that trend line, I don't know, that must be older. I mean, it looks like the 219, 220 range. What's your goal for gold and silver? What do you mean my goal? My goal is to accumulate as much as I can as the prices are near historical lows, in my opinion. Do I have to be perfect? No. I just want as much as possible. What does that mean? Again, the premiums on gold and silver just do not come in because even the sellers, dealers know it's not going lower long term. I mean, they can get away with that. Squeeze into the close. Let's do it. So, anyway, any other questions? When do you sell gold and silver? Whenever. TV. What do you think? When everybody wants to buy it. You'll have, it's like, think about the market. Like, you can't find enough buyers at the highs, that's usually the high. At the lows, you can't find enough sellers. At some point, gold, silver, the whole complex will rally aggressively. And what will we do? We'll be there to feed it to him. You're like, you want some? I got you some. You want some of this? Got you. Hopefully this makes sense. I don't know. I don't know the ultimate prices. Sorry, I'm trying to like look through my positions. What do we got here? I need to do some of that. Squeezy into the close. Where's the Microsoft at? I mean, again, I think you have to think about where things are when they hit there. Did you cover CCJ? Yes, I did. Maybe a top, maybe. Sold some of, yep, here you go. Got some Microsoft. Oopsies. Sold a little bit of that. How many, what do we got here now? Still got some of that. Oh, our SMH hit too. Okay. Whatever. Again, not going huge. How many, I mean, traded like around again? People are like, oh, you must be doing monster position. No. I am not trading aggressively at the highs. That would be suicidal. TLT. Okay. Yeah, bouncing back. I agree. CCJ. So this is the thing. I mean, as much as you want to short it here, if the market's going to chop top zone, do you think this fails? That's the hardest part. All right, going into the close, my biggest position right now is TLT. Got Soxel, got some longer term shorts in Tesla, SMH, Microsoft, Apple, but I do have short dated calls on SMH, Microsoft, Apple, Soxel. Man, I got a lot of stuff. Again, I'm trying to like balance out, and the more things go higher, the less I'll own of my calls and my longer positions, and then I will roll into what November minimum now puts. So that when the market bounces or drops, the first drop, I'm taking off all my October stuff. Hopefully that's clear and makes sense. I know that might seem like a lot of stuff going on, but hey, that's kind of how I like to put probabilities. I'm not sitting here going, well, I got to be all in short. I got to do this. No. I want to give myself outs because if the market does crazy things, I still think it's a bear market. Doesn't mean it couldn't squeeze back. Either way, wow, look at the TLT rallying. Yeah. Exactly. Bought it down here. Someone's like, 106s. All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah. The game plan is ultimately what? To harvest gains and then minimize risk. We talked about taking off shorts at the lows. Then what? The more likely it became obvious that the lows were in, I got more aggressively long. Well, now we're getting closer to the highs. What am I doing? I am taking off my aggressively long positions and trying to balance out so that the next move, I don't know. If it goes down, all right, I stop out of my long position. If it goes higher, great, I'll take those off, and then what? We will layer in. Yeah, look at the TLT bouncing right back. Talk about the volume being junk. Hopefully this is, people understand, like, you got to be slow in trading. Like, the V tops, the V bottoms, unless the VIX is in the 50 or 60s, there's no, like, it's just choppy action. November, December puts, when is it time to go short? Well, look at the levels, right? I still think what? Let me make sure I got all the positions I want. I mean, I have a lot of stuff going on, and I'm trying to talk to you guys. I mean, I still think the SPY can do what? Get up here in this upside target range, 415. I mean, we never know how high it's going to go. But what do we know about bear market rallies? Like, right, here you go. Multiple days up of and chop, right? Chop. Chop. Pop and chop. Chop and pop. Do y'all get this? Like, even in the down moves, there's chopness. Chop sanity. Like, I like the Conway Twitty slow hand. Yeah, dude. Slow and steady. Oh, you're all in long down here. What were you doing? Oh, it popped. It's going lower. I'm like, that doesn't, no. We talked about, made a higher low. Oh, then gapped down and came right back and closed right up above the low. Chop action. Then bam. The action is meant to confuse you. Me. Everybody. So if that's the case, don't we think at the highs it's going to look really bullish? But what happens if it chops? That's what I want to see. I want to see the chop because then we can confirm, hey, Dan, where's the exact top? Maybe it's the 200-day, right? No. I know him. I'm just talking about in generality. It's not a question of when to buy puts. Again, I think it's when do you start layering in? And if I had to guess, if you want my best guess, it's at the highs, which we don't know what they are at, right? This is probably going to be some sort of novice gap. Oh, question was December or November? It's up to you, honestly. I mean, all my October puts are the ones that I'm going to be taking off on the first drop next. And then holding November, December. Hope that makes sense. Oh, man. I love trading. You got to love the probabilities. If you think it's all about being right, it's just trying to figure out what smart money's doing. That's all I'm really trying to do here. We know if people are out of position, the market's doing what? You got to anticipate the ups. I hope this makes clear sense. And if the market drops tomorrow, does it rally back? That's a question you have to ask. Well, if it's a chop top, man, I just moved the zones. Does it do this crap? I mean, that's what I would want to do if during OPEX. If I really want to draw the bulls in to think they can't lose, the best action would be to drop it and rally it right back, right? Oh, what's up, Kat? Don't you think that would get bulls to think even more bullish? And if it's gonna blow out the top, then blow out the top. I don't know. I don't know anything with certainty. Roadblocks, high of the day. Interesting. Apple near point off the high. As I thought, I think the market closed at the high of the day. Maybe we don't. Maybe it's just, I mean, keep in mind, if this was a candle, it would be technically closer to the high of the day. Do you have any questions? Again, because this is hard. When you get to inflection points, everybody's like, all in, short, do this, do that. And I'm telling you, the market makers don't even do that, right? They're feeding retail stock. Do they want to kill the golden goose right away? Most times than not, no. Most times not. And it makes sense why, right? You really want to kill an up move, then you just destroy it in one move. Does this make sense? Just like at the lows, you really want to kill the end of the down move, then you just wipe everybody out. Gold, talking to you. Talking to you. Any questions? Am I talking to the cat? Or am I talking to people in the land of trading? Even Google's rallying back to positive end of the day. It's such a joke. It's such a joke that people, again, I'll get banned from probably stock twits and fin twit before. At some point, we'll be in the Discord room and we'll hang out. And yeah, it's just, people don't like that we're talking about this because this is how the trades should be set up. X, yeah. Things that look bullish, but maybe not. Again, I've told people, oh yeah, I told you CRM would do it, my friend. I got stopped out literally at the lows within 20 cents. You have to be just aware that like the market maker's coming for our money. If you somehow think that you're immune, you're smart, no, we're all dumb at some point. We're all going to be out of position. Like that's what the market's trying to do. It's like trying to whack us all out to do the wrong things at the wrong time. If you find yourself doing that all the time, your account balance is the mirror. My account's doing well. My followers or friends, family, doing great. Yep, you can't be a black and white thinker if you want to trade well because it's very gray, which means narcissists probably don't do well. No question here, you covered things so well again. I appreciate it. Like, that's why I had to boot this guy out of our room. I mean, he's a swing trader. He really wants to learn, but it's like he keeps arguing, I can't do this. I've been trading for 20 years like this. This is what I'm, blah, blah, blah. I argue for limitation. I can't do it, Dan. No. The day that you look in the mirror and you go, I have to change, is the day you'll change. Is the day you'll change. I'm telling you that you have to acknowledge your own insanity here. Because if you don't, you're just due to fail. You are absolutely due to fail. And it's not because the market's hard. You got to be better. I always tell people like, man, I used to get so mad. It's the market's fault I'm losing. And it's like, why the hell? I mean, none of y'all realize this, but there was a time in my trading career, I literally lost 20 times in a row on a trade. I recorded this and I was like, damn, how do you lose 20 times in a row? How do you lose 20 times? I mean, that told me something very quickly. If you can lose 20 times in a row, then man, can you win 20 times in a row? And the answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. Followers, friends. I mean, again, I hate to call people followers. So you don't follow. Your thinking adjusts to how you see the market. I'd call these people informed. Are you not winning now 90% of the time? Tell me if you're not. If you are following this channel and you are not winning consistently, what are you doing? I mean, I don't need to show my account balance. I never want anyone to. I just want people to tell me, are you trading well? Because that's what I have in front of my computer. I have at my desk. Are you trading well, Dan? Because if you're trading well, you're going to make money. We'll define trading well. Doing the right things, right? Layering in, layering out, knowing what's going on, having a thought process that does what? What does the market maker want? What are we doing? And are we doing what the market's doing? That's ultimately, it's like that simple. But you don't want to make it simple? I get it. Yeah. Eric, I know you're winning, my friend. I'm happy for you. It's been a long journey. It's been a long journey. It ultimately is always about growth. Are you growing? And I've told people this a bazillion times. Like, learn from my mistakes. Because I got by on the skin of my teeth doing this. Like, win big, lose, win big, lose, win big, lose, win big, lose, 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 win, win, lose. Ultimately found my own bottom. You'll find your own bottom. And it's just whether you're willing to change or not. And if you argue that you can't change and this is hard and all that, no, I will not let you believe that for a second. Because you don't have to be the best trader in the world. There's no such thing as always being right. You got to think about this. Like, you're going to lose. But do you lose well? And when you're right, do you win big? Do you let your winners run, essentially? Are you over trading? Well, then guess what? It's hard to be right all the time. Hopefully he'll learn that. Like, damn, Dan doesn't do a lot of stuff. And when he does, he makes sure the trend is with him. People are like, how did you know to go aggressively Apple? I'm like, because the market was bottoming. There was no all-in kind of pocket aces moment until it confirmed. Then you can go large, very large. But there was not this whole layering process. Like, that's, and again, if the market didn't give me more chances, I probably wouldn't go that large. Do y'all see how retests become your absolute friend? When a floor is tight and you see the 100-day and you're like, I keep seeing these wicks. We keep closing over 150 like fours. It comes back down to the 100-day. It bounces right back. Aggressive. Now we're aggressive. It's a bear trap. You took out the lows and closed back inside the range. Aggressive. The market's rising, then you buy the calls. I don't know how else to explain this stuff. But if you want to be the first person at a party, you want to be early to silver, gold, Bitcoin, the metals, whatever, materials. I'm just telling you, even the market, you think it's bottoming? Got a rude awakening for you. It's a bear market. It's going to be choppy, sloppy. It's a trader's market till the end. And then the end is a boom, kapow. Any good questions? Like, who wants to look at AMC? Yes, never hate the player. Well, no, don't hate the player, hate the game. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where you can't hate the game or the player because we're the players. For a month there, after you called it out, I saw why you bought Apple. It was like breathing, so impulsive as retail chase, but inverse number. Yes. You saw it. We knew retail was out of position. We saw the put-call ratios going heavily bearish. Oh, we're squeezing into the highs and the close. Who thought that was coming? Namaste. We're at the high highs now. Whatever. Not complaining. Once you understand the market from the perspective I'm trying to teach you, the only person who's wrong is you and me. The market makers aren't. The market's not. It's whether we are doing what the market's doing. And if you can't understand that with 1000% clarity, and you're trying to get the market to do what you want it to do, that's the ego. That's why I had a boot swing trader. He absolutely drives me crazy because he's like, well, I think this and I did this and I do all this work and I'm blah, 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 blah. No. Market doesn't care. Doesn't care what James, Kerwin, myself, Eric, anybody thinks. Oh, I lost so much money in gold. I got to get it back. You know what? One of the best things about gold that I had the same mentality at one point was to do? Trade it less. Only trade it when it's obvious. Silver, same thing. Talk about gold, silver. I love that stuff. Trading it for freaking ever. But then I realized less is more. And that was one of the things that helped me get to the next point. I always wanted to have to be in a position to trade it. And it's like, there's 365 days in a year, whatever many trading days. Do I always have to be trading gold and silver, the miners? Do I have to be trading any particular market all the time? No. Once you start looking at it from the mentality, like look for the best stuff, you are freeing yourself up from the mental trap. I'm telling you. Look for the best trades. Trade them. Oh, but Apple can only move like 10 points. If I know it's going to move 10 points with 100% certainty, I don't care. I will aggressively buy the absolute you-know-what out of calls when the IV on it was 20. We talked about this. Any questions? I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully this stuff helps. Because again, the trading part of this, it's not hard. I'm telling you, it's not hard. What does the market maker want? What are the operators trying to do? How is retail going to lose? Those are the three questions that should always be in the back of your mind. Not what do I want? What does the chart say? No, start there. Everybody's out of position, shorting. Uh-oh. Again, if we gap down tomorrow, I guarantee it's going to rally back. Maybe it doesn't rally back today, but it rallies back Wednesday then. Like, pray. Honestly, now that I've taken about where I'm at, I honestly would love a drop. Oh, but you're being selfish, Dan. Yeah, because it makes sense. Yeah, CNBC's real giddy. Whatever. Any questions? Last set of questions going into tomorrow. Here are the scenarios. If it drops, watch for the levels for it to hold. The market pops, you take more profits. And if it opens flat, you just watch. You stop by the Discord room. You do yourself a favor. Whatever you're doing, I'm asking you very thoughtfully, do not chase. If you're trading intraday, that's fine. But we're probably going into this. And this is what? Pre-FOMC. Do y'all see this action? Do y'all see this? Can I get, I want to see 17 yeses. This is probably what happens. One gap, two gap, and then chop into the FOMC. One gap, two gap, chop into the FOMC. Do you see how we're just using repeating patterns? CCC, senor. Yep. That's what my guess is, right? Like, do you think the market's going to dump before the Fed speak? Do you really think the market, unless, again, we can't control one-off news. But is it likely the market's going to absolutely implode before the Feds? Because if the CPI is weaker, people are going to go, well, maybe the Feds don't have to tighten as much. The clown from Sideshow. Or no, is it? No, that wasn't Sideshow. He was no, it's Krusty. Like the Krusty laugh. Like clowns think the market's going to tank before the Fed speak. No. Absolutely not. Yep, Krusty. That's my thinking here. So if that means you take your profits, look, this is the thing. If you take your profits and you just hang out for the next week, is that cool? Or is that easy trading? I think so. That's like the gift because of knowing. You got to know. Remember how I say know that you know. I got to trade every day, kids. No, it's probably going to put you in the chop zone. At the lows, you're in the chop zone. At the highs, the lows, you're in the chop zone. It just gets so silly. Here you go. Maybe it pulls this crap. You want the chop. Beg for it. The chop puts people in a position to give up fighting. They will stop saying, well, maybe it's just going higher. I'm done. I am just going to hold. Shorts give up. Do you see the benefit of chop? Chop becomes your new friend. It gives you opportunities to layer in at exact floor prices or approximate. And it tells you, this is the line in the sand. I start layering in. I hit my stops. Boom. I put Gorilla Glue on my hand so I can't overtrade. I hear that. I put a tattoo on my forehead and said, hey, Dumas. don't overtrade. So I read it in the mirror. Ah, man, great stuff. All right. You guys have a great day. I'm going to put Krusty the Clown in a box. Yeah, keep my straight jacket. I mean, we're all fighting our own insanities. Y'all think I'm trying to make this fun, but this is not mentally easy because I know. Like, there is such an urge to short up here. It's like, I need it. Need it. No. I have put restraints on myself because, again, I always realize, like, I mean, y'all don't realize this. Between you and people listening, I am always right. I was at this point where I'm literally always right. And I'm like, how am I losing money? How am I wrong? Time was the freaking thing that unlocked it. The time. I was like, I know these levels. I know the mark. I know what it's going to do. And it's like, I'm like, You're short way too early. You're long way too early. Time. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the generous donations. I always tell people, like, if you are donating and you're involved in this channel and my information is helping you out and you want to learn, by giving a donation, it makes me almost drag you to the finish line. The people who helped out, because, again, people realize, like, I don't need to be here watching the market all day. I don't need to. I'm watching y'all to help you guys get better. And that ultimately, as I said, it will pay back everybody. Everybody wins. There is a thought process to this. And again, I appreciate the generosity because one day I will gladly tip you. If you give me a tip that I trade off of, I'd love to be fed easy trades. Again, there's going to be times I can't watch this all the time. Someone hit me up in the Discord room and goes, hey, Dan, you see this stock? Boom, boom, boom. Nope, but I trust you. I know you well enough, Shannon. I know you well enough, Eric. I know your current. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. What's the trade? Oh, you're doing this? Great. What's the stop? Perfect. Goodbye. Back to sipping on beers, margaritas, whatever. On the boat, fishing. That's all it is. All right, I'm going to run. I really appreciate you guys. But I also hope that everybody sees the market for what it is. Like, that's all I'm trying to show you guys. How you want to interpret it once you trade it, there's no perfect way. Someone's like, oh, do I got these puts and that put and this strike price and this leverage ETF? No. You do it whatever's comfortable with your account balance. But as long as you're going with the market, that's all that matters. Talk to y'all later. Peace.